ready. So this is, it's a Hawaiian style hands-free massage, and the reason why it's Hawaiian style, I'm going to turn this off so that it doesn't interfere. The reason why it's Hawaiian style, it's based on the lomi lomi, where we can move around the table with our little side shuffles and our little hula steps. And there's a whole theory and philosophy of kahuna wisdom, which is in the manual, about our loving hands. And this whole technique is just about having loving hands and flowing hands. The possibility of this treatment is that it can be done. I don't necessarily do this because we live in the UK, but if I've worked on a retreat, for example, in a very, very hot country, you can have a sarong where your guest can have nothing on, or just a thong bikini or something like that, and you pleat a sarong into the middle like so, and then this gets twisted and brought down, so that this is an example that if your then client was, your guest is now naked, and with just this modesty bit here in between the legs, and this is the sarong that lies down in between the legs, and you can begin with oil and you would massage the whole body all in one go. Does that make sense? So that you would massage. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a version of that you can do that here, but I think most people in our UK culture prefer to have something a little bit more isolated. You can ask what they'd like, but that is a possibility, so that they would then be lying with no clothes on and you can massage it all in one go. So that's a possibility. Another way that we can do that with keeping the essence. The other thing is, like I said to you earlier when we were chatting, is that I use this even if I'm just doing a full body, not just, but if I'm doing a full body massage and I want to do it, you know, limb by limb, it's exactly the same. You would just start by isolating one limb. But what I do try is and get as much as I can higher. So that, and you could expose here as well, so that you could get a full sweep up the body. And so this is a possibility in this Hawaiian style. Usually, I don't do that. Usually I do, if I'm doing a full body massage, I start with the legs, but I try and get up as high as it can. I hope that makes sense to you to be able to play and interpret that. So I'm going to come on, and what we're going to do is we're going to oil up. We're going to oil up to our elbows this time, rather than just in our hands. And I'm going to come onto the body with my normal effleurage. But you can see that the difference is, so let me just show you what perhaps that you might have been doing. You might have been doing just an effleurage like that, which is lovely, absolutely lovely. But now we're going to get down lower. Can you see my whole self comes down lower? And I'm going to begin introducing my forearms into the effleurage, and my whole self is lower, my back is flat, my bum is out, tummy in hopefully. Okay, so this is my effleurage, nice and low. And then I'm going to start with some circles. I'm going to come and do the top of the leg first and then work down. I'm just going to use the forearm. And so this is nice and soft and relaxed. You can clasp your hands together if you want to, or you can leave this hand just relaxed. So you can see my hand is involved. It's not up doing sort of no hands like that. It is relaxed, and it can follow along, but there's no pressure on it. All the pressure is going through this anterior surface of my forearm, and my body weight is behind it. And you can see that my body is doing this circular movement, because I could do this movement like that, but I'd be agony in my back if I did that, so there's no point. So a nice long lunge, nice circular movement, And then I'm now going to work on the hamstrings. I'm just going to lean in. Is that pressure okay?
Yeah.
It's quite strong though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And so I'm leaning with my, and there's an aspect of my ulnar edge here as well. And I'm just flat back, bum out, tummy in, and I'm stacking my weight so that I'm not overreaching. You don't want to overreach like that because you're going to hurt your shoulders. So you don't want to do it from here. You want to create some space, and I'm leaning and stacking through my shoulder, through the humerus, into the elbow. I'm putting my body weight directly and moving with it. And you'll feel this when you do it. And I'm just pushing, moving back, pushing, moving back. And then I'm going to switch around. Nice low, nice deep sort of horse stance. And I'm going to go side to side. This is like a big oval now. So this is this position of an oval. So there's a glide up and an oval down, and you can see my whole lower body is moving in time. Okay. And then again, I can come up with my elbow through the glute. Thank you very much. It's quite strong. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
So I've got my elbow all the way through the crease of the glute and coming up through tensor fasciae latae, through the side of the glute. And then there's lots of ways to do the calf. Here I take a little lie down, get myself, oh sorry Teach, just trodden on my dog. Sorry darling. He's used to that, bless him. Okay, so I'm going to support on the inside and then compress with my, this is where an ulnar edge is good, because I'm compressing on the inside and just working. Are you okay with that?
That's quite.
I know that that's really strong, yeah. So this is what I was saying earlier, in that some things are really strong, but it's effortless for me. Like this I'm almost having a little break. I'm literally lying down, and they're going like. So you do get a bit of feedback here. Some people can take a lot of pressure here, and then you would do a straight swap. Just tread on my dog again. So here, the other way of doing this as well is you can sit on the table. You can do a little bit here. That's nice. And if you we love jellyfish, but if jellyfish is something that doesn't work for you anymore either, you can omit the jellyfish. But that's a nice move. It's a nice sort of juicy move that is pretty effortless as well. But you can come on. But if you don't want to have anybody's foot on your body, then just stay down with these two techniques. It's absolutely fine. Then there's a really nice little move, which you might need to come here for, is facing away from the table. I am going to use the ulnar edge, and I'm going to just sweep down with the ulnar edge. There's some great footwork that we'll do when we have our guest supine. But this is nice. This is really nice. This forearm ulnar edge. You can see my palm is facing towards me. So whenever I'm using the palm in this direction, I'm using the ulnar edge. Whenever I'm using it in that direction, I'm using this anterior surface. So here I'm using the ulnar edge, and my foot positioning is quite close in rather than that. I'm standing quite upright and close in. Okay, and then once I've done that, I'm going to just switch round and do a couple of really nice. I'm going to bring my hand up the side of the body just to make these really nice. This is for me as well. This is a nice stretch for me. Coming in, nice long stretch, breathing. And can you see my alignment here? I always sort of try and get my alignment so that I'm doing a nice stretch. If I look this way, I get a really nice stretch all through my right side. I could look that way, but I don't get the same stretch than that. These are just a little bit of body mechanics and body dynamics that you can play with to make sure that you're getting here a nice stretch for yourself. And then a really nice off here. Can you see that I'm leaning on the bar? Can you see that?
Yeah.
And my elbow is right at the edge of the lateral sacrum, top of sacrum at the lateral edge. Leaning on the bar, and my elbow is going to drop through the top of the glutes and piriformis, and I'm literally dropping down and I'm leaning. I mean, I think I would be probably swearing by now, because this would be very, very tender for me. As long as you don't collapse in a heap on the floor, you can do that a few times. You're either being very brave, or
it's very tender.
or you're swearing under your breath.
Yeah, I am. Only focus on the video.
Thank you for that. So we're going to come down, as we usually do. Top of the crease of the bum is fine. If someone does have hip issues, then you want to ask them if, like literally like glute and hip issues, you would say, if it's okay for you to take your underwear off, then I can get really nicely into the glute and we can get down and into the glute. But most people do like to keep their undies on, and that's absolutely fine. So we just work with, that. So we take it to the top of the crease of the bum. And then we're just coming on. Just turn that a little better, sorry, just a little bit. That's better. So again, I just get myself a little bit lower. I have to pull my body in so I don't lean on my client's head. But can you see that I've got my forearms down? So whereas before it might be that you were up higher doing an efferage like that, because even that can be that's quite a lot on your wrist, just that right there. So we want to get down on our wrists, sort of down on our forearms, so that we never have that compression. So it's the same efferage, but just a bit lower, so I get my body lower. So again, I'll just show you sort of the before and after. So it might have been here, and just right there I can feel, again, you can see it. And especially if you were taught this way, oh, I'm giving you permission to never do that again. Never ever. Were you taught from the side? You're never ever going to do that again.
I don't do that often. I go from the top like you do now.
Absolutely. It's just, you just don't want to be doing that twisting from the side. You just don't need to do that.
No.
Okay, so we do plenty of efferage, and then we're going to choose whichever side. I'll come this side so that you can see. We'll do a bit of everything, and I'm just going to start, again, get low. I want you just a little bit more oil, just a sec. I'm going to get low. And can you see that I'm going to circle my whole body, and I'm doing the lower back. So this would replace something like that. You might have done that, and you might have done this. Yeah, so this is, we're going to replace all of that. We're just going to get low. This hand can relax. This hand can either relax back. I kind of like to just drape my arm over the body. And here I'm doing nice slow circles, soft swan's neck. Here I'm pushing on, and then I'm coming off to come and recover my circle. On and off. On. And then if I did want to get a little bit stronger, I just put my elbow through, like there's my elbow in there, and then my forearm again. There's my elbow coming through, and then my forearm as I push Yeah. And then here I'm just going to do, there's lots of different ways you can play. So here I've got my paws down together. I'm just using the anterior surface and I'm just doing nice slow circles on the latissimus dorsi. Breathe. But you can explore with that, because say for example I wanted to come from the other side, you could do, you know, big moves like that. Or, this is a cool move, is you bring your hand to the other side of your shoulder and we're going to use this outside area. This is nice. So you can just play. The principal areas are this inner surface, the outer surface, the anterior surface, the elbow in different positions, the ulnar edge. You can use your shoulder, but it is quite an advanced move that. You can use your shoulder up here as well if you wanted to. It's quite an advanced move, but anything's possible. That's the good news. Let's go back to, so we've done the lower back. Now it's up to you. Sometimes I do a little sweep up just to introduce a little bit of shoulder work, but I might get round the other side and just do the lower back here. So I'm going to make sure that I come back in one beautiful sweepy move that feels effortless and seamless, and then I'm here. I'll do that again in a sec. And then I'm doing the same move here. But I'm just going to go back and show you. I'm going to transition again to this side so you can see these transitions. So if I want to get to the other side, rather than, excuse my crudeness, stomping round, rather than the stomp, so I'm going to come sort of stepping up to the centre, a little effleurage, and I'm going to keep myself in touch. I'm going to step behind. This is where the dance moves, and then I'm on. So you can move around the table in seamless moves so that you don't know where you are. Well, they don't know where you are at any one time. The other thing, like I said, the Hawaiian style, if you wanted to, is, should you wish to, oh, I've lost my hula, there it is. You can sort of move around a bit of a hula, but I think the bigger steps, you can travel more. So that's part of the style, is this stepping around. It's almost a little like a capoeira move. Okay, so I'm back to the shoulders. Let me show you some shoulder. Now, we know that shoulders are people's favouriteest bit and often the most required bit. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to glide with my forearm with the ulnar edge, followed by my elbow. I'm going to start off just gentle. This is my warm-up. Just a few glides, and I might do, 5 or 6 of these. So I don't warm up with my hands anymore. So again, you might do this. I just don't do that anymore. I just do plenty of these. You can do scoops around with this side. And once I feel that I've established that warm up and that groove, I'm then going to start to increase the pressure, and I'm going to slow right down. So this is my 0, and so you've got like almost 25 settings, if you like, because you've got 0 to 5, and I suppose 0, and then I'm going to come right on top to 5. That would be 5. So that's 5 with my body weight. Now it's really important that your shoulder joint is always in line with your elbow joint when we're doing this work, because I don't want to overreach and be doing it from here, because I'm going to cause a bit of compression in your nerve and in your neck. So you want to make sure that your face is right over and right on top of this movement, so that when I'm coming up, my face is staying here, that I don't leave my face here doing that. Can you see? So that I'm always traveling with the joint. This way, I'm going to prevent any injury whatsoever. So what's happening here is I'm now going with a 0 and maybe like a 2 or 3 in body weight over through the rhomboid. That's what I'm doing, rhomboid and trapezius. You okay with that?
Yeah.
I am going to sharpen up a little bit, so you can swear if you like.
I probably will.
And then, for the sake of demonstration, you can start to then just increase the pressure a little bit. Yeah. And then if I wanted to, so you can see there's a lot of erythema going on here. This is good. So lots of fresh oxygenated blood. And here now, I'm actually going to just pause a little bit with a bit of pressure. This is a bit of acupressure, because we know that along the medial border of scapula, we've got some acupoints of the outer bladder meridian and the small intestine meridian that are just fantastic for releasing shoulder. Okay. And then you can use this side. And so if someone goes like, well, you can go as hard as you like. You literally sharpen right up to 5 and you deliver your whole weight on. You drop yourself down onto it. You'll feel it when you do this.
You can feel it.
That's strong, isn't it? And it's still, here's the thing, is it's still effortless for me. I'm not going like, I'm just doing that. Literally. And it's full power, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't even think you can get that pressure by doing like that or like that. You know, if you're doing like this, look at the differences. First of all, that's agony. This is horrible. And this is all horrible here as well. Like this is just, at least have your shoulders relaxed. But it just eliminates all of that. And you're just stripping through with a very nice position. And I'm going to come off. Okay. I'm going to move on to the next technique rather than going on to the other side. But look at the difference there. And you can see I haven't really done very much. I'm fine. We're just going to take the ulnar edge here. And so this is like the top of the trapezius bit. And so I'm going to squat right down. And it's important that the squat is on the ball of my toes so I can get a little bit of rocking movement. And I'm holding here just to support myself so I don't fall over. And here it's a small movement because I'm just at the top of the trapezius crest. And I've got my ulnar edge of my ulnar bone. And I'm coming, sweeping up the neck and into the occiput. And then I'm pushing away, but I'm not going to go any further than this acromion junction here because then that's a bit cringy on the bone of the acromion. So we're going to sweep up, palms close. And palms away, using ulnar just to the acromion, just medial to the acromion. Up into the occiput. How's that?
Yeah, good.
It's a nice move. And then you can use the ulnar edge just to press like that. Again, it's effortless, but this is really nice move. It's a really fierce. You can do different directions. I'm just using the ulnar edge. And then sweep. If this position is no good, you can do it, teacher's in the way, but you can do it with a long lunge like that. It can be done like that. If you don't like squat, some people squat and they can't get back up. And then you can use your ulnar, you can use your elbow to come up and over. That's a nice move as well. And then this is a great design. If you put your hands into prayer position, you can see this gap, this little ridge gap here. So we're going to slide through either side of the spine so the spine lays in this groove. And this is nice. You have to go on tippy toes sometimes, but this takes you into your elbows, again, either side of the rhomboid. And you can just get in, if you bring your hands up into prayer, we get nice and deep and just pull back. So we slide, you can increase. This is a great move. And then just pull back around the scapulas. And then even just sweeping here around and down is nice. Coming on, sweeping down, coming around. So just addressing the top of the trapezius crest and all around the shoulders. And again, really effortless movement. For a lot of power. When I do the neck, I actually do, this is one moment when you can have a little bit of my hands. We have a sweep, we use the ulna to sweep up, but just to sort of do a little bit of thumb work. But I always stand in this position so that I'm in a good alignment. This is really good alignment, so there's no pressure on my thumbs here. I've actually got my bum sort of sitting down on the table. And so I'm in good alignment here. This is where we do our pirouette. You ready? Might have to stand back. First position, love that. That was a good one.
That was a very good one.
And then you can do, you know, you can just have a little moment of running fingers. This is nice. So whereas we were using our hands and wrists and fingers maybe 90%, we're now using our hands and fingers and things for maybe like 5 or 10%, and the rest of it is forearm. So if we consider thumb circles either side of the spine, I don't do thumb circles either side of the spine anymore. I'm just going to use my elbow, and actually I'm just going to do little press and press and glide and press and glide and press and scoop myself up and stay on top of my elbow and glide. We've done lots up here, so we'd probably get away with doing that. So just a little aside, back to the shoulder again, is when we do the shoulder, we glide. We bring our elbow right up over the trapezius crest. So our tricep comes right over the top. You can actually lean your tricep back a little bit, and then you swing round with the top of the fleshy part of your tricep, so that we're not coming round with the elbow over the acromion. That's really important to consider as well. So whenever I'm working over the shoulder, I drop the bony part of my elbow into my tricep, and that's the fleshy part that sweeps round. And these can be, you know, you can make these really nice and long as well. You can sort of, it's very creative, this work. So you would do this bilaterally, and this is instead of doing that. I used to find that a killer, just like a killer. There's other ways you can sort of come up and over and compress the spine, the erector spinae as well. Just moving up and over like that compresses the erector spinae, because that's what we're doing here. But if you loved the working the points, because we've got the back shoe points, then you can just consider and continue with your elbow. And if you find that a little bit sketchy, you can make a little V, like a little cradle, and you can just press and move and press and move. I've got my hand here resting on my shoulder. How does that feel, Karen?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Well, that's good news. That sounds like it's a little bit strong, so that's good. Here, let's just scoop myself up. Okay. So we've done around the top of the QLs, the obliques, excuse me, the glutes. We've done all of that by doing this. We've done that. We've done the latissimus dorsi. Here, this area here, coming off from, again, the edge of trapezius and over the teres major, teres minor, you can just use your ulnar edge to press and compress. Now I have moved over to doing the arm, and I have made a separate little video for this, but I have moved over to doing the arms in this position, which I think is really lovely. So we're going to, sorry Teach, we're going to just oil up here. Let me just get this right. Come under, and we're going to go over and round like this. It means that you can do a lot of arm in this position. And it also means that when you're lying supine, you can just focus on the lower arms and hand rather than all the bicep, tricep. But this is a nice move, I think. How's that feel?
Yeah, fine.
This bottom hand here is rolling. I'm actually pulling a little bit. So there's like a bit of an outward stretch as well. Can you feel that stretch?
Yeah, it's nice actually.
Yeah. And then I might have to just reposition. And then you can come on underneath here. And then coming down. It's just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun. And so, you know, you can just know that when you turn over, you've done quite a lot of arm already, and then you can bring it back up. This is nice, a seesaw. We've done seesaw for ages, but this time it's a nice stretch out for us. And then these closing effleurages. And so this is for the video. I would have done a lot of shoulder, da da da. Do you know what I mean? I sort of jumped around a little bit for the video, but you would make it feel very symmetrical and come up. And then I like these sort of singles, like you do one, nice stretch and up. Now, I always joke about this, but I'm absolutely 100% serious. Is this whole style of massage is all about you. It's all about you. And it is about our guests, because when we're having the best time and feeling connected and aligned and having a good groove and really loving our style, just by definition, our massage is amazing. So I'm always asking myself, do I feel amazing? Am I amazing? Am I having an amazing time? Yes, I am. So I know that my treatment is really, really good. So it's all about you. It's all about your posture. It's all about your alignment. It's all about you having a creative, artistic time with your massage. And, you know, just put some nice tunes on, get into your groove, get into your flow, and just play, because the other way is that you find your style. These principles, I'm just showing you these principles, and then you will just find your flow with it and your style, because it's you and your room. And there are, you know, times when you can sort of get up on the table and do things if you want to, and just experiment. So that's the back. Are we on?
Yep.
So a normal effleurage. Try and get your hands involved. And it's the same. So we're going to do circles on the inside. Using all that nice full surface, even up here. And then moving on to the quads. You can do singles, nice and slow, strong, steady, sorry. Doubles. Now what's nice here is that you could do a little bit of movement. So we're going to make a tree pose. So we lift up, we're just going to make a little tree pose here. And it means that you can come right into the adductors there. You can also, you could sit and then here, I always watch. Now if you feel that this, you don't want to move the leg and you want to keep it down, for example, you could. And you would just maybe rotate the leg medially in. Come, circle. This is more like an oval. Same thing. Gives you a little variety. So all the knuckling and ringing and cupping, hacking, just don't do it anymore. Just don't do it. But this is quite strong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got my elbow through there. Here, I've just got my elbow coming through the quad. So you don't want to hurt. You don't want to hurt people. So you know, you do that warming. And then, same principle, tibialis anterior. I'll just move through a little bit quicker. And also, you can, ooh, too strong. So if people are wincing, you back off. But you have the capacity to run your elbow. I'm not putting any pressure on here, but to run your elbow through. But it was too strong, so you back off. Or you just stay with the forearm, because that could be. You can do little circles. And you can do big sweeps. Same here. I can almost rock onto the gastrocnemius here. It means I can get into some holding onto the gastrocnemius just to sort of bring it round. So same principle, or you could just do it like that. Now this is the foot bit that's really cool. I'm not sure where the best place to be for this, but I'm sandwiching in between the two forearms. And I'm slightly on an angle so that I can sandwich the foot between. And then what I'm going to do, this is just nice sweeps between the anterior surface. Then the top one is going to anchor, sorry, and the bottom one fans through the toes. What a great move that is. You just find the correct, sort of find the right position. And then stand up. You could do a little bit of jellyfish here if you wanted to do a little bit of jellyfish around the knee capsule, above and below the patella, and then stretch. Is that peach? This goes into a deep V, the V being like here, and we definitely make sure that the breasts are covered, and this goes over the top to even ensure more breast security. We'll bring some oil on, and we're going to go in and under. Now most bodies are flat backed. Some have really quite deep lumbar curves, in which case you can go right through. But most people, you stop you stop kind of at a handspan and at the spine. Most people are like that. And then this top hand is going over the top of the abdomen and coming back. This is just our warm up and getting the oil on. It's a sweeping. If you feel that there's a belly jewellery, you just be careful of that. And they're usually quite stable, aren't they? But you just be careful of that. And I'm going sort of above and below the belly button. So sort of just above, so below the rib cage. And then this one here is below the pubic, above the, not the pubic, the hip bone. And you don't go as far down as the pubic bone. And then I'm going to do a clockwise circle here. I'm going to do a clockwise circle. This hand at the bottom is staying still. Do a few of those. Is that okay? Nice. And then I'm going to sweep up and over. So you can sweep up this way, you can sweep up and over this way. Now we've done, you know what we didn't do is the arm at the top here. So you can have a practice of that. But because we've done all this arm here, we can just do a little bit of lower arm. We forgot to do that, but it's on the video, so. And there's another video of that. So here I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to switch. Because this can be quite taxing on your hands as well, can't it?
Mm.
Using my elbow running through. You can feel that.
Yeah.
And then for the hands, I use my hands. Then for my hand here, another few percentage here, I use my hands. Yeah. And then that's a little up, round and down. Done.